I still see so many women are giving in to the burden of life in the human society, specifically to boredom of their intimate relationships with their husbands, partners that they have spent so many years together, having family, doing so many things, maybe finding that sweet spot when everything feels more and less good, functional, making these things happen, and calling this sweet spot happiness. Yet, deep inside, there is this longing, there is this desire for vibrant, wild, full of life force exploration, connection, energy exchange, a feeling of being alive, turned on, activated, to feel that pull of magnetism to the masculine, to your masculine partner, and just giving in that it's not going to happen again, right? That we'll never feel that again because that's life. This is something that maybe your grandmother told you when you were young. This is life, sweetheart. This is how things work. You just need to accept it and learn how to do it right. And then you'll feel good. And then you'll be okay. And maybe you can convince yourself that you're okay, yet your soul and your body craves more, and you know it. And some women, of course, didn't make it. They went through divorce or they went through breakups. They couldn't experience anything healthy in terms of relationship and intimacy, and not even finding that sweet spot, no matter how hard they try. And then they feel defeated. They feel like a failure. They feel like something wrong with them. Or they feel maybe it was not meant for them to be in healthy, beautiful, expanded relationship, or even not in normal relationship what grandma was guiding us towards. Well, we all know that all generations had it much harder than us. That was a different time. That was the time when women didn't have any rights and freedoms. This is the time when women were trapped in marriages and other circumstances that didn't let them self-actualize, experience their deepest desires, exchange their energy with empowered masculine, share the gifts with the world and contribute, right? Because of how limited those opportunities were at that time for women, right? Women couldn't have the same work, the same career, the same business as men had. Yet, maybe those souls have chosen that experience. Maybe that's exactly what they wanted to explore, how it feels to be so limited and trapped. Yet, we're here and we are different generations. We are a change makers, and we create completely new models of relating, of self-actualizing, of creating and contributing in this world, and we need to own it. This is the time for change. Now I see how intimacy is the most conditioned and the most archaic area of our life, even in the modern world. Because when we question the old ways in business and career, we move really fast. We have to catch up with how we provide for ourselves, how we thrive, how we contribute, how we develop new skills. And now they're teaching the universal laws when you apply for like business coaching, when you take business coaching classes, right? And you can hire somebody and they can teach you how to create the right mindset to be successful, right? And to thrive in the new circumstances, how to navigate this ever-changing human economy and still find yourself and express yourself in a very creative and powerful way. Yet I see how we lack education in the area of intimacy and relationships. We do have scattered knowledge here and then. We do have different practices, different healing modalities, yet it's all fragmented. There is no synchronized, holistic approach that can help us to really create something sustainable. That's why I love using Tantra as a foundation for my intimacy work. Use Tantra not just for the practices themselves and the healing process itself, right? Which is really, really powerful, but also utilizing Tantric approach and understanding those universal laws behind Tantric practices and Tantric values to create a very sustainable, beautiful container for the sacred union and beautiful, sacred, intimate relationship with our partner, right? I'm the one who is focusing on building relationship with one partner and going really deep and allowing this relationship to last as long as we desire it to last, right? We're not talking about any destination specifically like we do in marriage, but we want it to last as long as both partners desire so, right? And I see how many women are still ignoring this area, or like skipping the steps, or like avoiding to face the truth that what we have is so fragmented, and it's not satisfying, right? It's not satisfying to settle for just like having your husband or partner as a best friend or companion or practical partner, right? And sacrifice the most vibrant, the most life-giving experience of intimacy, sexual activation, lovemaking, sacred exchange of energy, and exploration in this area of life, our intimate life. What I see women choose is there are a few things that I observe, right? When women choose an alternative route, when they hit the wall and they realize, well, I can't experience it with my husband, he's not available, or the energy is not there, the conditions are not right, so I don't know how, and I don't want to destroy my marriage, so let me choose some kind of alternative pathway. It's almost like an escape or a way to cope with what it is, and basically declaring that we have no power to have something that is more holistic, something is more aligned, something that is actually aligned with our deepest desires and represent that, right? So we stop exploring. So women choose to stay in a marriage that is more or less good, with a good man, right, who is your best friend, maybe he's a great father, he's a great maybe provider, or somebody you share practicalities with, you can trust. And that is a lot. I don't say that is not significant, yet you choose to sacrifice something that your soul and body craves deep inside just to have that. So basically you feel like you have to pick one or another, right? So that happens a lot. Maybe finding a sweet spot of even beyond that is like sometimes just like, oh, whatever, that's not important anymore, really. Now, other women just decide to let it roll the way it rolls. And in terms of intimacy, and they just give in to this mechanical, flat, uninspiring sexual life and intimate life, and even spiritual life many times with their partner. And they just like focus on other things, right? Focus on the family, focus on the business, focus on career, focus on some hobbies or time with female friends, traveling, and etc. Right? So kind of like, let's just not look there. Some women actually convince themselves that they believe in grandmother's advice, and they tell themselves that they need to grow up. Hey, you need to grow up. You can't just feed those, desires you had in your 20s, to meet somebody and have this wild sex and spiritual connection and find the soulmates and have this amazing, intimate, diverse, intimate life that feeds every cell of your body. It's like, oh, please don't go there. Like, I can't think about it because I don't want to be disappointed anymore. I tried. I don't believe in it. Let's grow up and be realistic. That's another pathway that women choose sometimes. Well, sometimes women find a secret lover. Yes, it's still a solution, and we all know that this is pretty common practice in the human culture, right? If your husband is a good man and yet he's extremely boring to you on the spiritual and sexual level, there is that pathway too. And sometimes, most of the time, I would say women don't seek that on purpose. It just happens to them because they just can't shut down that beautiful longing within themselves. So it comes through and the opportunity arises. And they end up in this paradoxical situation when they have a good man who is a husband, and or maybe he's not that good, but the circumstances require them to stay, something that they believe, and they have a lover. I recently had a conversation about it with my ex-husband, and he shared some stories about the old friends, female friends he talked to, and he was sharing that stories like, wow, that I see how real it is. Yeah, you don't want to sacrifice all other good things in life and the support system just because you want this amazing lover and you want to explore intimacy. That just can be something separate. Energetically, it makes sense, but in terms of like, you don't want to hide and you don't want to lie, and you don't want to lie to yourself beforehand, right? And that's something that builds up over time and becomes toxic. So obviously we all know that we don't want to follow that route. Well, there is a beautiful route here that I used to utilize a lot for a few years on my exploration path, and that is basically channeling that sexual creative energy and that longing into creativity, art, your personal art, whatever it is, or creative business ventures, or helping others, right? That is very beautiful actually, and that is a healthy channel, by the way. Yet it doesn't need to be the only one, right? You can still have the channel of true intimacy, like the real physical experience with somebody, and spiritual connection that opens up new horizons for your intimate exploration, right? And your intimate relationships. Some women stay single and it's like, I don't want to deal with men. It's proven to be a disappointing experience. I just want to be free and do my own thing and have some fun. And that's another choice that women discover for themselves when they don't find a way to create and sustain beautiful, intimate relationships. And the last one, sometimes women just stay single and keep, kind of behaving like they're still in their 20s and like keep exploring, dating, short-term relationship, messy, surface-like relationship with men, sex as entertainment, and nothing sticks kind of situation. But it's like, okay, that's for my health or whatever. So all these choices, are made by women because they don't believe that the deepest desires about intimacy and connection and sacred energy exchange and the sexuality and spirituality, they don't believe it is possible to fulfill those desires and live them and experience them in this real physical world, right? Yet, if you think about it, it's like why we are in these physical bodies. We're meant to explore intimacy together in the physical body, and this is also the gateway to our spirituality. Tantra is spirituality through embodiment, and this is so aligned with the feminine power and feminine values within us, because we are mothers and we're the ones who give life. And therefore, intimacy and intimacy that can be sustained over years is a very central element of our well-being and our self-expression, self-actualization. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. And I love working with people who want to step out of this old paradigm, right, of how it was done before. The old marriage tradition, right, the old rules, the old paradox of sacrifice, of being stuck, of being cut off from the vibrancy of the present moment, right, because it's just not available. I love working with couples who are maybe married or in a long-term relationship and want to shift from the old paradigm to a new paradigm of the sacred union. Many times I've been asked questions like, if we've been together for a long time and we're still married, can we still explore sacred union and be together that way and kind of bring that fresh new energy into our relationship, reignite the spark, rebuild the foundation, recreate the conditions? Absolutely you can, especially if both of you are on the same page. I love working with couples who are married and been together for a while. Now, sometimes a woman comes to me and say, hey, I want to explore Tantra and learn all these things and reconnect with my body and desires, but my husband is not available yet, or he's not ready. Like, sure, let's work on it. There is a risk, of course, that it will create more distance if your husband will never arrive to the place of readiness and being willing to do the work. Yet, if this is what you desire, it will give you the deepest truth of who you are, and it will give you guidance of what's your path, right? What's your individual path? What's your spiritual and sexual sovereignty, autonomy of who you are as a woman. Now, sometimes people come and like, I'm single, but I want to explore Tantra. Absolutely. This is the best way to start, to explore yourself, to find that harmony and balance within yourself, to discover the inner lover, the one that you want to experience in the physical reality. He or she is already there within yourself. And by discovering that energy, by feeding that energy, by building up your practice, Tantric practice, by shifting your habitual perception of what intimacy is, you open new doors, and basically you're being reborn as a tantrika or as a powerful woman or man in this intimate world of exploration. Well, sometimes people go through divorce and they say, okay, is it a good time to start learning Tantra? Of course. Tantra is about healing beforehand, healing the wounds between feminine and masculine, healing the wounds within ourselves, our ancestral trauma, healing the personal trauma that we experienced in our relationship, understanding where it comes from and how to heal from that, right? On the experiential level, not just intellectual, right? Utilizing those practices that help us rewire our brain and let go of old habitual pathways and the survival mode and the defense mechanisms, and rewire our brain for healthy new beginnings and building the foundation for new intimacy. And sometimes people come to me and they are not in long-term relationship, they're just in a new relationship, and they both want to explore Tantra, and this is also great because they can explore so-called healing partnership together and help each other heal from previous wounding, from those fear-based imprints in our psyche, what it should be and how it should be, otherwise you're going to be punished, or what is right and wrong. So this is extremely powerful experience of healing partnership, because if your wound was created through relationship, right, or intimacy, somebody else, you need that experience again to rewire your brain and rewrite that story. You have to be in the same kind of setting and environment. So I say your lover is your best healer, and it doesn't need to be a lifelong partnership. It can be just healing partnership for the sake of experiencing something new and healing old wounds that we carry within ourselves, and maybe making a great friend, or maybe this person will become your sacred union partner. So this is what I wanted to share with you today, and just give you some inspiration for the new year that is coming up. And if you feel drawn to Tantra, if you feel drawn to new paradigm, ascension of intimacy, if you feel drawn to like rediscover your deepest desires and longings about intimacy and yourself, just being in that sensual, open, extremely rich, powerful space, yourself in your own body, in a relationship with the world, and feeling that inner lava energy within yourself, being whole, or creating that with your existing partners. Like, I'm so excited to be there for you. I'm so excited to guide you and share all the knowledge and practice that I've been building up over the years. And this is my soul path. This is absolute genius path that I have created and designed, and it's very unique. Nobody else does exactly this thing, and I call it Ascension of Intimacy because it's a huge shift in paradigm, right? It is basically stepping up out of the old paradigm of relating completely, right? That old archaic stuff, and finding that beautiful sacred union of equally powerful masculine and feminine playing and creating together.